A long time ago, there was a very normal family, a wife, a husband and 2 children. Tragically, the mother grew ill and died. The father could no longer support the children with a full-time job, so he married a very wealthy woman, but she despised the children. The children were out playing and the father was hard at work. Their stepmother appeared out of nowhere and sent the children away. She turned to the woodcutter and declared, "There's not enough food in the house for all of us. We must get rid of them." She kept on trying to persuade her husband to abandon his children in the forest. He reluctantly agreed and he called the children back for bed. Hansel had overheard his parents' conversation and comforted Gretel, and slipped out of his house and filled his pockets with little white pebbles. Then he went back to bed. He led Hansel and Gretel away into the forest, but as they went into the depths of the trees, Hansel dropped little white pebbles here and there on the ground. He mumbled an excuse, and the children found that they were alone. Night fell, but the woodcutter did not return. Next morning, they followed the pebbles home. Their father was relieved when they were home, and took them back inside with open arms. Their stepmother was furious, and worked out what Hansel had done. She quickly went out and shut the window. The next morning, the woodcutter once again took them outside and gave the children some stale bread. Hansel had not eaten his bread, and as he walked through the trees he left a trail of crumbs behind him to mark the way. After the father had left them, they were once again left in the forest and huddled up and fell asleep. Whilst they were sleeping, the hungry birds hopped along and gobbled up all the crumbs. "The trail like last time," Hansel whispered to Gretel consolingly, but in the morning they saw to their horror the crumbs were all gone. "I'm frightened," whispered Gretel bitterly. "I'm cold and hungry and I want to go home." They searched and searched, but all hope soon faded. They were well and truly lost. On and on they walked, till suddenly they came upon a strange path, which led up to a cottage. "This is a biscuit," gasped Hansel as he broke a lump of plaster from the wall. Starving but delighted, the children began to eat pieces of the candy broken off the cottage, just as the old woman came out of the door. "Well, well," said the old woman, peering out with a crafty look. Come in, you have nothing to fear," went the old woman. "You've nothing but skin and bones," said the witch, locking Hansel into a cage. "Shall I fatten you up and eat you? You can do the housework," she told Gretel grimly. One day, the witch grew tired of waiting. "Light the oven," she told Gretel. "I can't tell if it's on or not. I'll see if it's all right for myself." But when the witch went down to peer inside the oven to check the heat, Gretel gave a tremendous push and slammed the oven door shut. The witch come to a fit and proper end. Gretel ran to set her brother free. Then they went to the chest and filled it with gold. "And we'll take this treasure with us," and they set off into the forest in search of their way home. Unknown to them, their father was doing the same thing. They saw their father coming out from the trees towards them, weeping. "Your stepmother is dead. Come home with me now, my dear children." The children hugged the woodcutter. Hansel opened up the casket. "Look, father, we're rich now, and we'll never have to chop wood again." And they all lived happily ever after.